wherever you go, wherever you stay. Don't you forget that love is always coming your way. No matter how far, how broken you are, don't you forget that love is always coming your way.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Grace Out Loud.
Let's go.
Yes, cheers.
Grace Out Loud.
A new podcast for conversations about faith that you don't hear on Sunday.
You will not hear it on Sunday morning.
Katie Gaus, Bronico, and we are so excited that this is happening, right? I mean,
I'm pumped.
This is something that's been on our hearts. This is a project that we have wanted to do, so we are really pumped that it is finally happening.
Yeah. So ever since I got here like 5 or so years ago, people have said, we need to start a podcast. And every couple months, someone will be like, we're doing it. We are starting the podcast.
And then,
but you have officially started. I'm excited.
We did it. It was mostly because we have this amazing new studio space.
It's really nice.
We're here in
It's very cozy.
Katie's Corner, and it's podcast world now. And
Podcast
we are
world.
really excited to be doing this. But
there's no coffee table yet, so
not yet. We got the feet.
We're gonna be kicking our feet.
We both wore our cool shoes today, and we unintentionally matched.
Yeah.
So good.
There we go.
Good job. Great start.
On the
I think
same
this is
wavelength.
a good way to kick things off. But Dom, you know that hosting a podcast with me, inevitably, the conversation about sports will be kind of woven into everything and become a theme. But we did just see the Winter Olympics not too long ago.
We did.
So that leads me to my icebreaker for you to kick things off today. And that is, if you could be an Olympic athlete in any sport, and this could be summer or winter, what would it be?
That's a great question. I was actually just talking about this. It would be luge. That's when you're
luge.
just sliding, right?
Yes.
So I was talking to a young adult, and we were like, "How does somebody determine that they're like, oh, I can do this?
Yes.
For my life.
This is what I want. I'm 5 years old and I've decided.
Well, we think that they just were really good at going down water slides, and everyone else got off and was like, "Oh, this is great," and they were like, "I can make money off of this." So I think.
I did this for a living.
I have to be able to be aerodynamic enough to shoot down that slide.
You think you can get that form,
I
that
think
water
so.
slide form?
Yeah.
love
what
it.
about you? I'd go with luge.
I don't know. I would want to pick something like really obscure.
Okay.
Like rhythmic gymnastics or something like really unique.
I don't even know what that is.
I mean, because it would be such a deviation from who I really am. So that's why I would, like, if I could just choose one to be good at, I would pick that. Because normally I would pick a sport where I'm like hitting people and being really competitive and really angry. So I feel like that would be a nice break.
Yeah, it would be very soothing.
With my little ribbons and whatever. You know?
There you go. What would not be a nice break? This was the first time they've done it. It's like, I don't even know. It's like ski mountaineering. Me and Cindy were watching.
Yes.
And you literally go uphill on skis, like sprint uphill. Have to dodge obstacles and then ski.
Yeah.
It's like the most grueling thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
of.
they had the one where like you have to shoot the gun too while you're doing it and like lower your heart rate. Yeah. Olympic athletes are amazing. So we love that.
Incredible.
All right, what do you got for me? Anything?
Yes. So mine also has to do with sports.
Let's go.
And since we're talking about Jesus today, my question for you is, it's also Olympics focused.
Yes.
What Olympic sport would Jesus participate in?
That is excellent. Oh my goodness. Ooh. I was going to say like water skiing. It's not
He's
an
kind of
Olympic
got a head
sport.
start on that one. Water skiing.
Water skiing is not an Olympic sport. Okay, well, swimming.
Swimming?
Yeah, he'd be great. I think he'd be great at swimming.
It's just a sprint for him at that point. There we go.
He could just move the water and get going. All right.
Absolutely.
What was on your mind for that one?
I think I would have to go with swimming.
Okay,
I
we
think
like
he could
that.
walk across. He could part the pool.
Like something
so to
like
speak.
Jesus would be really good at curling.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be great at everything.
Yeah.
He could do whatever he wants. So he would be the ultimate Olympic athlete.
Absolutely.
I love that. All right, Dom. Well, all things aside, we are excited to start this because we want to have conversations about faith that don't always happen at church on Sundays, that are unique, that are relevant to what's happening in people's lives right now, every single day. But to kick things off, we want to kind of keep it real. In our first series, we're going to do these in series, right? So we don't even know how many episodes a series will necessarily be, but that's kind of our theme. This is our start point. And so for our first series, we will be doing faith basics.
There we go.
And I was hesitant to say that we are keeping it simple with the faith basics because our very first question here, episode 1, we are talking about a huge topic that we could spend days on.
Yeah.
That is, who is Jesus?
People have like debated this for like
forever.
Ever since Jesus showed up on earth. They
Yep.
have debated who is Jesus.
Yeah.
So simple topic to start off
But there's
with.
so many ways that you can take. I mean, I used my phone. I used AI. I was like, who's Jesus? What does Grok say? And they go from a historical perspective. You also go from the faith-based perspective. But from a pastor perspective, somebody comes up to you on the street and says, who's Jesus? What do you tell them?
Oh, that's a good question. And I'm interested in your response as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's difficult because you have like your personal encounter with
Yeah.
Jesus. So like the first thing I would say is like, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. He is God. He's the person who saved my life.
Yeah.
Who, the reason I get up in the morning, right?
Right.
So you have that. But you also have like, there's like the historical person of Jesus, right? I think for most people, they would probably think of that, right? Like
Right.
Jesus was that dude in the Bible. He did the water into wine.
He's
thing.
that dude.
Yeah. So it's challenging. I think everybody has their own like encounter with Jesus. And so mine is obviously that he's God and he's my savior. But I think for the average person, they only know what other people have told them about Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah. So what about you? What would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I like thinking of it kind of two ways. First, you think of the historical stuff, and so you're immediately like, okay, well, he is, the Son of God, but like in the historical perspective, he was an incredible figure who preached across, so many places and just changed lives and made such an impact. But I think when I started thinking about this, I also started thinking about it from the perspective of like how much your own background influences it, right? So like for me, I was born into a family that had faith. So who is Jesus? It was like day one introduced, right? I mean, you get baptized when you're a little kid. So it's just one of those things that for me, I always just knew Jesus was my savior because that was what I was raised on. But I think then as you get older, who is Jesus becomes more
start to own it.
personal.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were to think about it that way and someone was to kind of come up to you who really didn't have a faith background, like what would be the best way to start that conversation? Like to ease someone into the concept of it, because I think that's something that can be really overwhelming.
Okay. I have a bit of a longer answer. Is that okay?
That's great.
So I was not raised in a Christian home.
Yeah.
So I kind of like only knew of Jesus associated with like rules. So for me, like Jesus was like this religious figure, and you just followed rules and you earn your way into his good graces.
Yeah.
Right. When I started going to youth group, that was like the opposite of what I experienced. My youth pastor started talking about this person of Jesus as like incredibly loving.
Yeah.
And that at the first base, we are loved by Jesus, like bottom line.
Yeah, that's it.
And after that, it's just about like this freedom that you experience from knowing that lets you live the fullness of life, right? Like following Jesus helps us to be freed from all the things that hold us back. And so that was like a complete game changer for me. Was separating this legalistic, if you do the right things, you are in Jesus' good graces, you've got it, right? Check the boxes.
Right.
To this person wants a relationship with you. He loves you. He is the reason that you're here in the first place. And the life that he has for you is way better than the struggle, the life that you're living. It doesn't erase all of the struggle, but he kind of enters into it, and you get to experience him in the midst of that. So that's probably what I would say.
Yeah.
I had this interesting experience recently where it also involves Twitch. We were talking about Twitch before this.
We were. Thanks for the sub.
Yeah, thank you for the sub.
Like and follow.
Chat, thank you. But we were doing this thing, me, Josiah, and Victor, my friends, back in college. We would like to like watch each other play video games. And so we were watching Josiah stream this video game just for me and Victor.
Okay.
He's not a Twitch streamer. We just wanted to watch him.
Yeah.
He wasn't here. And this random person popped into the Twitch stream, just this random guy. And at first it was funny. And we were like, oh, that's like so, that's
How
so
did
funny.
you even find it?
I have no idea. It was 3 people, me, Victor, and Josiah, and this other guy. And then Victor was like, hey, Dom, this guy is starting to ask really weird questions. And the guy started to ask like, I don't have any goals in life. Like, I feel like I'm kind of like it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
And Josiah, while streaming a video game, started to say, well, listen, like, I think it's good to have goals, and it's hard when you feel you don't have those. But from my perspective, Jesus is this person who is my only goal. And it's not by achieving anything that I'm worthy. It's not by achieving goals that I'm worthy. It's just that he has dubbed me worthy enough to die for. And from there, it gives me worth in everything that I do. Yeah. And it was just bizarre because he was able to share that on a Twitch stream playing a video game.
Just for you guys.
Yeah, but it seemed to resonate with this random guy.
Did he just like eventually, did he eventually just like log out of your,
he logged
like,
out, Josiah
he
gave
just
him
dipped?
his email and just dipped. It was very bizarre. But this resonates with people, right?
Yeah. Well, it also just shows you that, you know, you can find ways to be a good disciple of Jesus anywhere.
Doing anything. Yeah.
That's an incredible story. You kind of started talking about the rules earlier, and I resonate with that a lot. Raised Catholic, and I am Catholic. So hearing that, it's like that's all we think about and talk about is that you have to constantly be checking boxes and doing these things for rules. But when it comes down to the sin aspect of it, like Jesus, I think people have a hard time understanding the fact that like he genuinely was perfect. He never sinned. Does that make it harder for people to relate to him and understand who he is because he's seen as this perfect, flawless figure?
I think it would. Like in most cases when we think of like incredibly perfect people, it rubs me the wrong way because I'm like,
we were just talking about athletes, right? And it's like, wow, they're so amazing at running,
like,
and I'm
never
awful.
Get to that level.
Like I would be dying if I was trying to run this marathon.
I think it would. But I think that what separates Jesus from like maybe just someone who's all about themselves is one, he's incredibly humble. He wasn't perfect in the sense that he lorded it over people, but like he washed his disciples' feet. And two, he spent time with who society at the time called the absolute worst people.
Yeah.
Or at least who culture deemed like people unworthy to be around.
Yeah.
So in that way, if we think it's unapproachable, Jesus does not think that we are unapproachable.
Yeah.
And
he's saying it's okay.
draws near to us. Yeah. What do you think? Is it hard to?
No, that's a great perspective. I love that you brought that up because again, it is like that he would, I mean, first of all, he humbled himself to the point of, coming and becoming human, right? Being down there with us, going through life, being born, in a terrible setup, truthfully, not exactly the most ideal birthplace. So he already was just like setting the stage for, I think an incredibly human-like and relatable experience. I think that's great. Yeah. And he was willing to show us that, living by example, right? We always talk about, okay, do what you see your parents do, right? Well, looking at what Jesus did and seeing the example of the people he interacted with and the way he went about his ministry was pretty good.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned something when we were talking about just topics for this episode and what we wanted to talk about, but about the changing views of Jesus. Yeah. And you had seen something when everything's on fire. Tell me that.
I read this really good book by Brian Zand, which I encourage you to read. We
will share what we're reading on this, by the way.
Oh yeah,
we will be bringing in all the books.
I'll drop my Goodreads list,
and we'll talk about what shows we're watching that have nothing to do with Jesus, but they're still good.
Yes, 100%. So I read this really good book called When Everything's on Fire. It's by Brian Zand. He's a pastor. I'm not sure where. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't do my research.
It's a good book though.
But it's kind of about deconstruction, and what I like about in that book is he talks about how you don't necessarily have to tear your faith down. He calls it like remodeling your house. So if we think of our beliefs as like this house we live in, sometimes this one wing, it's old, it needs work, but it's still a really good room. We need to build it up, right? Kind of like your studio. This studio looked very different. It looks really nice now.
His is so different.
You guys had to put a lot of work into it,
after. Yes, we did.
Yeah, you should do it before and after.
Yeah.
It was kind of scary down here. But some rooms they're old, they have water damage, and they just need to be removed. And they were harmful to us, right?
Right.
And he kind of talks about like that with Jesus and how the interesting thing about Jesus is he has this way of like just going even when we don't realize it. He compared it to Aslan in Narnia and like so good, right?
So super incredibly random side note that when anyone says Narnia, I have to bring up because
I need to hear it.
It's a really important part of my life. I did musical theater forever growing up.
I did not expect that.
No, when I was in like 8th grade, I think we did Narnia, the musical, which is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I should say.
I didn't know there was a Narnia musical.
Yes, there's a Narnia musical. I don't think there probably shouldn't be. It's not very good.
Okay.
But I was Mr. Tumnus.
Love it.
Literally dressed
with
up.
the goat legs?
Yes, literally goat face painted on, furry pants. I was so anyway. I'm so sorry to derail us, but
Can
I
we
had
find
to.
it? Can
I
we
don't
find
think
the
there are.
clip?
I think every photo has been destroyed.
Okay.
It was that bad.
You surgically removed it from the internet. Yeah.
I've tried to wash it from my mind because it was
so funny. Oh my gosh.
It was an interesting time.
All right, we need to either find it or reenact it.
Continue.
But like at the end of every Narnia movie, Aslan just like leaves. Like, and I'm like, where is he going? They just solved all the problems.
Yep.
And Brian Zahn kind of compares it to Jesus, where sometimes we feel that God has left us, right? That this figure that we knew, we don't know where he is anymore. And it's not that God has left us, but that our idea of Jesus needs to change in order to grow. And that's how all of us grow, right?
Yeah.
So I think that changing view of, or Jesus taking us to wherever he has for us next, I think that's good.
Yeah, I love that. This has been so enjoyable just to be able to have honest conversations and to share stories and life experiences.
And find out that you did
and find out
Narnia the musical.
Embarrassing musical.
You're Mr. Tumnus.
Oh yeah, I've got some really embarrassing musical. We could spend a whole podcast talking about the musicals that I've been in and the weird characters that I got to play. I even cut my hair once.
Really?
Totally like boy haircut, all
What
in.
was it for?
For Seussical.
Okay.
The
There we
musical.
go.
I was JoJo. That's for another day.
Nice.
We'll save that one. But Dom, this has been wonderful. This is so good because this is
fun.
what we wanted. We want to have these conversations that people can relate to. If you're out there and you're watching this, please continue to join us on this journey. Grace Out
Absolutely.
Loud.
Grace Out Loud.
Grace Out Loud. I like to yell it because when I thought up this name and we talked about it, it's supposed to be a totally unfiltered and open and loud sometimes conversation about all the greatest things that we want to share. About Jesus, about God, about our faith. And that
Absolutely.
is started. It's officially
Yep.
it's officially
Here we go.
happening. We made it. Tom,
tuning in.
thank you,
Thank you,
for
Tina.
being here with me, and thank everyone for joining us. We will see you for episode number 2 as we continue our series with the faith basics.
Woo.